We open up, and like the very first thing in the movie is very, very, very clearly not Wink the Necronomicon from Evil Dead.
Yeah.
It is a legally distinct for trademark reasons.
It is an old, written in ancient Latin, leather-bound book with a face on it.
Yeah.
Which is not the Necronomicon.
It is not the Necronomicon, Kyle. I don't know why you would think that it's the Necronomicon. It's very clearly not the Necronomicon. It's the Mecrodomicon. I don't know, like, whatever. Hello. Welcome back to the 218th episode. Good, Bad, or Bad, Bad, the show where we watch terrible movies and television too. I'm your host, Mr. Brian Chilago, joining you once again. And as always with me, the co-host, Mr. Kyle Hinton. Kyle,
you must flow like water.
Flow like water. So, you guys may notice we're both wearing the same shirt. I bought these shirts like 4 years ago, and they've been hanging in our closet forever, and I forgot they existed. And then today, I was like, this is the perfect time, because for people who know, Red Letter Media fans will know.
This is a flow stick, right?
Yes, a flow stick or whatever the freak it's called.
Through decades of kung fu training, Rob Moses made several significant observations in his practice. He saw that all quality martial art movement involved circular, spherical, and spiral movements.
By Sifu Rob Moses is apparently his name. It's a piece of garden hose that you do Tai Chi with.
It can be just as free as you want it to be. And the thing is, it doesn't take any room to do it. You don't have to be on a football field. You can be in your living room. There's plenty of room to get all the moves, all the feeling.
And David Carradine was in a very famous infomercial.
It's such a genius marketing ploy.
Yeah.
You go and you cut off like 3-foot sections of garden hose.
Yeah.
You heat off the ends of it.
Yep.
And then you just sell that for like $50.
Yep. And you have no idea. They have multiple sizes that are different colors that are just like, one of them's like 3 foot, one's like 4 foot, one's like 5 foot. It's incredible. It's incredible. That'll have to be a patron bonus short if I can find it one day, because that infomercial is amazing.
You tend to move with it, even though it's not required. You know, you could stand here and do it like this, right? But it seems to make you want to move a little, or maybe even a lot.
But I remember watching that, and I was like, I don't know how I stumbled across these shirts, but I stumbled across the Flow Stick shirts.
They are...
and I ordered
I
two
love
of
how
them.
the mat is just like one solid piece.
Yes. I don't remember where I ordered these or how I found them or anything, but I just remember they've been hanging in that closet in the studio for like 4 years.
And you found the perfect moment to get them out.
I did. I really did. Because today we're talking about a movie that stars Mr. David Carradine.
Yes, our first David Carradine film.
I think. Has he not been in anything else?
No, the other option would have been, what is it? Future Force, I think, where he plays like a cybernetic RoboCop or whatever.
Yeah. Anyways, I guess our first David Carradine film. He's barely in it.
We did a Robert Carradine film.
Yes.
Cross. He played the evil scientist.
That's right. You're right.
You want to play? Let's play. David Carradine, Alexander Nevsky, Stephen Brand, Cheryl Lynn Fenn.
Don't worry, baby. You're safe now.
But anyways, the film we're talking about today is 1991's Evil Toons.
Remember, in times of trouble, let your conscience be your guide.
And Kyle, this movie is Evil Dead, but bad.
It's Evil Dead with more porn?
Yes.
Wishing well under her spell, Russian roulette, lipstick on cigarette.
More porn
and more cartoons
and less tree.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. You're not wrong. So the movie Evil Toons is slightly deceptively named, but we'll get to that, because boy, does the premise not live up, or does the film not live up to the premise, in my opinion.
Singular tune.
Yes. when you hear that name and you think what you think this movie's gonna be, especially like the setup, the movie is not that, and it's kind of disappointing, but also still kind of works. We'll get into it. I love that the movie opens with a director message that is like, "This is all true. This is really true, guys. Trust me, this is really true, and it happened."
Based on true events.
Signed by the director, who I can't remember his name, incredibly prolific director.
Olsen or something like that? Or
yeah, Fred Olin Ray. Is his name, and he signed that opening credit. But he's directed a lot of movies, including Sniper Special Ops, which is one of the terrible Steven Seagal
yes,
where
Steven Seagal sits
like in a chair the whole time.
Film.
Yes, he directed that.
Are you doing this for me?
You kind of remind me of my little brother. He always tried to do his best. I'm just doing mine.
He also directed like 20 movies that have the name Bikini in the title. So that
Bikini Car Wash?
I don't know about that one specifically.
Ooh,
I don't know about that one specifically, but he directed a bunch of movies with bikini in the title in like the 80s and 90s. And then also directed seemingly like a bunch of Hallmark Christmas movies. His career is crazy, but the dude works.
This was definitely the part in his career where he was being raunchy.
Yes,
his raunchy.
Yes, this is during his bikini era of movies, and then in the 2000s he got into the Hallmark Christmas era of movies. Dude, like I said, he just works. He's still making movies. I think he had like a 2020 credit at least, director's credit, I believe. This one, like I said, Evil Toons. We open up. And like the very first thing in the movie is very, very, very clearly not Wink the Necronomicon from Evil Dead. Yeah, it is a legally distinct for trademark reasons.
It is an old, written in ancient Latin, leather-bound book with a face on it.
Yeah,
which is not the Necronomicon.
It is not the Necronomicon, Kyle. I don't know why you would think that it's the Necronomicon. It's very clearly not the Necronomicon. It's the Mecrodomicon. I don't know, like fucking whatever. It's so stupid. It's very clearly the Necronomicon. Oh, and then David Carradine, moment one, shows up looking like Van Helsing or something.
Like he's walking out of fucking Sleepy Hollow or something.
Yeah, he's got this big like cloak and everything. And in a moment we're just gonna skip right on over, he hangs himself.
I saw that. I was like, no. This was
don't like that. Don't do that.
Foreshadowing.
Don't do that.
You lose.
But he kills himself, and then the book is laying on the floor, and it starts talking and goes, "I'll be back," basically, and then it like wipes out of existence, and you're like, okay. Sure.
You can't get rid of me that easily. I'll be back. You'll see. Ooh.
Cut to sometime later, Dick Miller pulls up in a van.
Jesus Christ,
it's
dude.
Dick Miller, man. Pulls up in a van that has 4 college girls in the back of it. He opens the door, and all these like college girls come stumbling out. And they are there. He is selling a house.
Could you imagine that being the equivalent of having Marlon Brando show up in your Ed Wood film?
Yes. Yeah. Is it?
No, okay, so Dick Miller was not that great.
No, not that quite.
But he was in a bunch of shit.
Oh, yes. No, very, very famous, obviously. He's Dick Miller. He's been in a million things, absolutely. But yeah, so he shows up, and the girls all get out, and they're there. He's hired them to clean the house.
Yes.
Now, you girls understand the deal, right? I drop you off, clean up the house real good for the new owners. I pick you up Monday morning, and you each get $100.
My mouth's watering just thinking about it.
Because he's selling it or something like that. But this house has been vacant for a while, and so they're there to clean it.
Complete disarray.
Yeah, so they're going to stay there over the weekend and clean it. And immediately, like, as soon as they get out, they got to get the cleaning materials out, and they all get into the van and, like, bend over, and it's just a slow panning shot across all of their asses as Dick Miller, like, oogles their butts, and, like, amazing.
It starts going all over his cigar as well.
Yes.
Also, it's funny, whenever Dick Miller drives up to begin with, there's nobody in the back of the van.
No, yeah. Yeah. And then, so they're getting ready to go in the house, and the ADR in the whole movie is, oh my God, ADRing very hard.
Yeah, but remember, no monkey business. I got a reputation to think of.
He's got his reputation to live down.
Sleazeball.
This is where it was most apparent, particularly for two reasons. One,
outside,
the distance they were from the camera, and the outside sources.
Once they got inside, it was generally like it seemed like they captured it on location, but all of this is ADR.
A lousy $100. You'd think there'd be an easier way to earn some spending cash.
There is, but you have to beat around the bush to get it.
And how?
What does she mean by that? Just keep pulling out the stuff, Megan.
But then also, I don't know if you noticed, as they shut the door to the van and they start to walk up, and you can see the reflection of the camera in the van, like in the window of the van. It's like, all right, great, amazing, fantastic.
This house has a long history of mayhem and madness. Pretty strange and unusual and weird things have happened here.
And one of my favorite things about this movie is the vast array of acting talent in it, because some of these girls are horrible.
Going anyway?
I'm just going to the bathroom. Honest. I'll be right back.
And a couple of them are kind of good. Yeah.
Dude, we don't have a car and we don't have a phone.
We don't got shit.
It's kind of crazy, but I love the very first line delivery that got me is one of the girls walks into the house and it's like, this house has a long history of mayhem and madness.
This house has a long history of mayhem and madness.
And the way she delivers it is insane. It's incredible.
Pretty strange and unusual and weird things have happened here.
But so they get inside and they start looking around, but then they send Megan, who's like the main character kind of, back outside. And you can tell she's the uptight nerdy girl because she has her hair in a ponytail and she's wearing glasses.
Yep.
Where the other ones are all very sexually liberated. She's the virgin who doesn't. She's very insecure and unsure of herself. And I will say that ponytail and the glasses doing a horrible job of disguising the fact that this woman is very clearly beautiful, just stunningly beautiful. It's just okay, yeah, all right, sure, whatever.
I'm Megan. I'm just here for the weekend.
Ah, short stay. Good thing.
But then so they get inside and they start unpacking, and this was cracking me up. The house is fine. Everything other than the basement, everything we see of the house looks like a normal I'm sure it needs to be cleaned, but I thought it was supposed to have been abandoned for years or whatever.
Yeah, no.
The refrigerator has magnets and stuff.
Yeah.
It looks like somebody was there last weekend or whatever. It's so funny. And I got to talk about this line because it makes no sense, and it's never. I was hoping it was going to get revisited. Spoilers, it was not revisited.
Was it the butter line?
Yes, the fucking butter line, Guile.
Yeah.
They're unloading her stuff, and she hands a thing of butter, sticks of butter to one of the other girls, and she puts it in the fridge, and the girl's like, butter? And Roxanne goes,
Butter? Don't ask.
What are you gonna do with that? Are you gonna fuck that butter? What is that even? What? I don't understand. What do you mean don't ask?
Oh God.
Don't use sex tip. Good BRBB, sex education. Don't use butter as lube. Terrible idea.
God.
I don't know if that's what she was implying, but don't do that.
It would have been the 90s. They had lard available.
I was like, what are you doing with that butter, man?
You could get beef tallow. And then, you can use it for French fries.
Yum. Are you going to fuck that butter? Don't ask. Then their neighbor shows up, Mr. Hinchcliffe.
Yes, played by one Artie Johnson. Who I was very convinced was related to the Carradines in some way.
He does look.
He looks almost identical to Robert Carradine.
He looks, and there was somebody, and I can't, when I'm doing the edit, if I can figure out who the person he reminded me of was, I'll put that in here too, because he was the whole time I was like, he looks like somebody. He looks like somebody. He's a very famous TV comedian. He was in a bunch of seemed like
it wouldn't surprise me if he hosted a game show or something.
No, it was there was some show that he
was it the 80s Candid Camera?
No, hold on. It was something like that though, where it was he was very well known for being in Laugh-In. That's what whatever. And because I don't really know what Laugh-In is, but he did that kind of stuff. He was on Laugh-In. He was on a show called Rowan and Martin's. Oh, that's Laugh-In. Yeah. He was on the Gong Show and stuff. He was a panelist and that kind of guy or whatever. I think is generally what he did. But he shows up and he explains that he wanted to get a good look at all of them, so if he needed to identify their bodies later.
That's nice.
I just came in to have a look at your faces in case I have to identify you later on.
Identify us?
Your bodies, I mean, for the cops.
And then, so they got to start cleaning now, though. So they go down to the basement. They're going to start in the basement because it's the spookiest, and they want to do that during the day. So they get down there, and they immediately discover this giant chest that has an inscription on it in made-up language.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what the hell
it looks like, to me, it's almost like the words are just backwards or something like that. Like the letters are just backwards. But then, like, we get a moment as the audience.
The English.
Yeah, for us as the audience, and we can see it says, like, do not open this. Whatever you do, don't open it.
Whatever.
Yeah, you'll die. And I love they open it, and immediately she pulls out a fucking human skull.
Yes.
And there's, like, no they're like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look here.
Oh, great. Where's the rest of him?
There's more. Look.
It's a human skull, and they're like, oh, that's crazy. They're like, they are not remotely have an appropriate reaction to that.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah, we can finish tomorrow. I need some air.
Well, I'm gonna take some of these things with me.
Why?
They may be important.
But so they clean up the basement a little bit, and then it's that later that night, and they're like getting ready to like have dinner and go to bed and stuff. And as they're hanging out, they get a knock at the door. And who is it? David Carradine.
Yes.
Can I help you?
They all come to the door.
He shows up with a package that says open immediately.
Yes.
Doesn't really say much except for delivery.
Yes.
And then walks off.
He hands it to him and walks away, and they're like, okay.
Delivery.
Sure. Do I need to sign anything?
And they assume it's for the people who are moving in on like Monday or whatever, but they're like, but we kind of want to see what's inside of it. So they open it up anyways.
And shocker, it's the Necronomicon.
It's the Necronomicon, which they then open up and read parts of. Which we'll get to, so we don't get to that part yet. We got to get to the important part first, which is before they open the book up, they're all hanging out, and Roxanne turns to the group and says, "Hey, want to see how I got my hooks into Biff Bullops, the football captain?"
What?
Want to see how I got my hooks into Biff Bullock, the football captain?
Again?
I do.
And you know how she did that was by stripping for him.
Yes.
So she does that for her friends. A very normal thing that people would do. She strips naked for her friends.
Wow, that was interesting.
Gets them every time.
And then pulls Megan over and starts like taking her top off. And then this gets really weird. And I don't know what's going on here. So she like starts taking her top off, and they're like, loosen up, you need to loosen up. And then she clearly gets uncomfortable and runs upstairs. Like, no, and runs upstairs.
We've got some stiff competition here, girls.
And then we cut to her upstairs. She walks in front of a mirror.
Yes.
And then just strips down naked.
Yes. Brian, this is just like the, what was it, Night Killer or film or whatever. Every time a woman is in some sort of distress in a movie, in the 90s specifically, they have to get in front of a mirror and just like look at their boobs.
Yeah, she literally, you're not even joking. Like, she gets naked and just stares at her boobs, and it's like, and I think the idea is like she's insecure, and so she's like looking at herself to try to overcome her insecurity. I guess.
At least, unlike in Night Killer, she isn't looking at herself in the mirror and going, "You're a mother."
Yeah, it's so weird.
This is you.
But she just stares at herself, and then at the end she like smiles and kind of laughs, and then puts clothes on. I'm like, I guess she overcame her insecurity. I don't know what happened there. Oh, a little detail that I had to mention because it was so fucking funny is when Roxanne is doing the striptease and she takes her pants off and she like twerks, she like shakes her ass. They did the thunder sound, whoa, whoa, like the sheet of plastic that you use to like make thunder sounds.
Somebody specifically Foleyed that. They said,
yes,
this is important.
100%. And then when she takes her top off, they do like the squeegee sound effect of it like coming off. Oh God. And I love, and that was the other thing. Megan's reaction in this moment as she's watching all this, when Roxanne gets done stripping, Megan goes, wow, that was interesting.
Wow, that was interesting.
It's like, okay, yeah.
All right.
I guess that's one way to put it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then while Megan is upstairs, they open the book and they're looking at it. That's what's going. That's what happens.
Yep. They can't read it because it's in ancient Latin.
Yes. And I thought these two girls were kind of good. Specifically, well, actually not really just the one. The one, I think it's Jan. One of these two girls, the two blonde girls, or the not Megan and not Roxanne, those two, one of those is really good. And I think it's Jan, because she brings the right level of like, I think she knows that this is nonsense, and she brings this like aloof fuck this energy to the movie that I thought was kind of fun.
And Meg?
Yeah?
Be sure to tell us where his tongue is. I'm dying to know. She's such a drag.
They're like going through it and they can't read any of it because it's in a language they don't understand, but they're seeing all these drawings in it. And I love they look at one of them. And one of the lines she says is, "It's only a picture, but it looks like some ancient sorcerer's wet dream."
It's only a picture, but it looks like some ancient sorcerer's wet dream.
Yuck.
But like we see it and it's like demons like in doing vaguely sexually looking things.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they need Megan though, because Megan they know is the smart one,
nerdy one,
yeah. So she might understand how to read this. So they bring her down, and she looks at it and is like, "Oh yes, this is ancient Latin. I can read this. I can read ancient Latin."
Okay.
It looks like ancient Latin.
Yeah, we know, but can you make out anything?
Well, it's kind of rough, but I'll give it a try.
So she just reads this whole page that has this like buff dog guy on it.
Yes.
And she reads through the whole thing and then gets to the end and it's like, oh, there's a footnote. And then she reads the footnote and it's like,
Oh, wait a minute. Here's a footnote. I think I can read this. In the name of God, if you value your immortal soul, never, ever, ever, ever read the above incantation aloud.
Sorry, I put this after the summonings.
yeah,
part
sorry,
of
I put it after the thing you're not supposed to read. My bad. That was a real big formatting mistake there now that I think about it.
Well, that was fun. Any dirty pictures in here?
But nothing happens in that moment. They're just like, oh, that was weird. Well, anyways, and they shut the book and they go to bed. Or they're getting ready to go to bed. Roxanne's staying up.
Yes.
Because she has a boy, Biff Billups or whatever the fuck his name is.
He's coming over.
He's coming over at midnight.
The other girls go upstairs to their sleeping...
their bedroom or whatever, yeah.
The way they go to sleep is the most like...
That's because they're taking the piss, Kyle.
I know.
100%. It's 100%. Incredible.
But
well, first, before we get to that, they have to change into lingerie to go to bed.
Yeah,
you know, they got to change into
bibs, right.
lingerie.
But they lay down to go to bed in the most like, we are humans who require rest.
That one girl in particular in the middle, she goes to sleep like a mummy, like rising from the grave, but in reverse, she's just like, it is bedtime now, powering down.
Yes, I require human rest after human food consumption.
And there's no way she wasn't doing it. I had that note. 100% on purpose because they knew that this was a stupid fucking movie. It's so funny, dude. I was dying. Then we cut downstairs for a 5-minute gag where Roxanne struggles to open a champagne bottle in sexually suggestive ways for forever. She's just like jerking off a champagne bottle and like squeezing it between her legs and stuff, trying to get it open. Eventually she does get it open, but meanwhile, while that's happening, the dog, the crudely sketched dog demon,
it gets brought forth into the world.
Comes to life. And it like pops up in the living room, and this is where you're like, okay, this is the premise of the movie, right,
Yes.
Kyle? It's called Evil Toons. It's about evil cartoons. You're gonna have evil cartoons doing evil things. It should be like Gremlins, but with cartoons, right? Or something like that.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yes, exactly. You get that for like 30 seconds in this movie. Because it's expensive, and so immediately Roxanne walks into the living room with the bottle of champagne. seems like she looks right at the demon dog thing, but apparently doesn't see it or whatever. I guess the perspective, I don't know. But she gets in there, and then the dog, then she starts changing into her lingerie for Biff Billups, and we get the classic horny cartoon animal stuff.
Yes.
Like the hooga eyes popping out of the head, and like the tongue rolling and stuff like that.
Need to get this just enough away to where Tex Avery isn't going to see you.
Exactly. And so that's the only like cartoon gaggy stuff you get, and it's like that 10 seconds of him like oogling her while she's stripping or whatever, which is fun, but then it immediately attacks her and kills her.
Hello, babe.
Oh, and meanwhile, upstairs, the other girls think she's having sex because they hear her screaming, but they're like, listen to her. Yep, that's what's going on.
So, like,
yep, that's number 5.
You mean, well, they're not playing Twister.
does the dog cartoon demon need to subsist on like human blood?
I do not know.
Because like it seems to go for the jugular on like everyone.
It bites people like it's like a vampire or something, basically. But then and in the most disappointing turn of the movie, it like possesses her. And so for the rest of the movie, it's just her being the villain, and there's no cartoons in the movie at all. And it's like, oh, well, it's called Evil Toons, and that is not most of what the movie is. What the fuck? Okay, fine.
Rox, you scared me to death. Hello, Meg.
Megan's worried about her, the screaming, so she comes down to check on her, and she comes down and comes around the corner, and Megan is naked, covered in blood, and Megan has Roxanne is naked and covered in blood, and Megan has like no reaction.
Yeah,
to
she's
that.
like, oh yeah, I cut myself opening up a bottle
of wine, and she's like, okay, sure, that's fine.
Cool. I cut myself opening a bottle of wine. It ruined my nightgown. I was just changing. Well, good night.
That's fine.
Then she just calmly goes up and tells the other girls, yeah, she's just bleeding a lot.
She's just got a little blood and wine on her. It's fine. She's fine.
Naked and covered with blood. Are you kidding? She said she cut herself and ruined her nightie, but I didn't see any cuts.
Forget it, Meg. This whole place is creepy. Just try to get some sleep if you can.
Then Biff shows up.
Yes.
Biff Billups or whatever the fuck his name is, who's supposed to be, I believe, a fellow college student, but is very clearly a 45-year-old man.
Hiya, baby. You miss me?
Like the plague.
Katie was like, I had this on, I was watching this morning, Katie was on the couch like reading or something, and she looked up and she was like, because she had seen some, and I explained it's like about college kids who are like, or girls who are like cleaning this place, and then it gets, there's like a haunted book or something, and then this guy walks in, she's like, who's that? And I go, that's one of their college boyfriends. She's like, he's 40 years old, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Also, he's a complete idiot because she is still covered in blood, and he touches it and goes, what's this? Is this lotion?
Hey, what's with the sticky stuff? Some kind of new lotion?
Close. Let's get comfortable.
Sounds great.
Yeah, man, it's fucking
Brian,
lotion.
plenty of people would go to college for 6 or 7 years. Yeah, they're called doctors.
You know, a lot of people go to college for 7 years.
I know. They're called doctors.
She starts dry humping Biff Billups and then just bites his neck open and kills him. And this is where I was like, oh man, is the cartoon thing just going to be in her for the rest of the movie? Because that's boring.
Basically.
Yeah, pretty much. I will say, and so we've been making fun of like how dumb the characters are and stuff. A lot of that's intentional. This movie is almost like a satire of horror movies. It is almost like doing it's like almost doing a riff on horror films or like a send-up of horror movies.
Either way, it's a dark storyline. We're 4 young, attractive girls in a big, spooky house all alone. If we don't go downstairs one at a time, how will we ever get bumped off without the others knowing about it?
That's a terrible thing to say.
Meanwhile, Megan, I think, comes down again because she's still worried about. I don't remember. She's still worried about her or whatever. She's thinking about coming down. But Megan her acting is atrocious. She may be the worst actor in the whole fucking movie.
I'm just going to the bathroom. Honest. I'll be right back.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Meanwhile, we cut to Dick Miller watching himself on television.
He's watching, because I looked up the film. It's called Bucket of Blood.
Is that what? Okay, I couldn't figure out which movie it was. Yeah. But he's like sculpting clay or I don't know. But I love the little detail at the end. He's like, that guy should have won an Oscar.
How come this guy never won an Academy Award?
Yeah.
Which I thought was funny. But anyway, so he's at home, and then he gets a call from the neighbor.
From Art. From Hitchlow or whatever.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah, there's people screaming bloody murder over there.
Something's going on. You want to go check it out. So he goes to leave,
and his wife stops him.
Random aside in the whole
wife, who's clearly like 40 years younger than him.
Yes,
stops him and goes, "It's Friday night."
Wearing lingerie, she comes to the door. It's Friday night, and he's like, "Oh, is it?"
But Bert, it's Friday.
So what? I gotta go.
God, there's a Friday in every week, isn't there? And then she like pulls her boobs out, and she's like, "Come on!" And he's like, "No, I gotta go."
Bert, Friday night.
Why does every week have to have a Friday night in it?
And leaves. And
this joke was fucking hilarious.
She goes into the bedroom,
and you hear a jackhammer.
Yeah.
You're gonna hurt yourself like that someday.
I thought there was kind of a funny, again, in the way, because this movie is kind of a weird send-up of horror movies, I love the, like, weird joke, because at the beginning, he's like this horny old guy who's super horny for these college students. So the idea you would assume is he has, like, either a wife that he thinks is super ugly, or he's single or divorced maybe, or something like that, and so he's not, so that's why he's so into these college chicks. Yeah. But no, he has a gorgeous, like, wife at home who wants to have sex with him, and he's like, fuck this, no, I hate you, and it's so funny, dude.
I will say, like, that level of joke, though, the sound of a freaking jackhammer going off is right up there with, like, a Naked Gun.
Oh, 100%. This movie fluctuates all over the place with the style of humor because, yeah, that is a straight up, like, Naked Gun joke or something like that, or something from a Mel Brooks movie or something, yeah.
That's Meg. Maybe she really was it. Now we've got to go down there. Things may be getting a little rough.
As he's getting over there, Meg goes downstairs again to check on them, and she finds Biff's body. And her reaction, she just opens it and goes, ah! He's just under a rug or whatever.
For some reason, like, if you drape a body in tapestry, it commits it to hell?
That's what she says. She says, when souls are offered up to Satan, they go by way of the soul shroud.
It's a soul shroud.
A what?
A soul shroud. When souls are offered up to Satan, they go by means of a soul shroud to hell.
And they're like, what are you talking about? And she's like, it says it on the corner there.
Oh, okay,
and she's like, the corner of what? I don't even know what you're talking about.
Let me check that. Dry clean only.
Yeah.
How'd you know that?
It says so right there on the corner.
Oh, the other tag.
Yeah, that literally apparently the other tag there says, this is a soul shroud for offering up souls to Satan. Gentle wash, colds only, light colors.
I would love for that to just be on like some mundane object. It's like you have something for like a washing instructions, and then by the way, here's a supernatural like consequence of using this.
Yeah. The thing though that sucks there is they didn't go the extra effort to like make the prop and print the tag, because that would be a funny joke, but they don't do that. She just says it. But they're really good friends because immediately they're like, we gotta hide this dude's fucking body.
We've got to hide Biff's body. You mean touch that guy? Look, he's already dead. We can't help that. But if Bert finds out he was here, we're gonna get fired.
But is it worth a mere $100 to become implicated in a murder?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Roxanne must have killed him.
As they say, a friend will help you move. A best friend will help you move a body.
Absolutely. And they are all on board immediately. Dick Miller shows up and he's like, hey, I got to come in and check it out. And they're like, we're naked. Come back in a second.
We don't want to get blamed for having a corpse in the place.
So they got to go drag his corpse out of the living room and hide it. And they're like hiding their body for their friend, which I thought was like, they're really ride or die. That's nice. Meanwhile, while they're hiding the body, Roxanne shows up on the front porch.
Yes.
And seduces Dick Miller.
Brings him down to the basement.
Yes.
This better be good.
Oh. It will be.
Brings him down to the basement, starts seducing him, and bites his dick off. Bites his Dick Miller off.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
But his oh my god in that moment is really good. He goes for it. He's like, oh my, it's almost the Troll 2 level. Oh my god. Oh my god. Like,
or the God, what's his name? O'Neal?
Shaquille?
No. Ryan O'Neal, I think it was. Oh man, oh god. Oh man, oh god.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh god. Oh man. Oh god. Oh man. Oh god. Oh man.
So anyway, she kills Dick Miller, and then they find Roxanne, and she's like, oh, this was all a prank.
Oh, no, this is where they find Dick Miller.
Yeah, they find Dick Miller's body. And then, did you notice this? They go outside, and as they're walking back outside, we get like a gag where Megan gets so scared. I think they see David Carradine maybe, and it spooks him or something. Something happens, and they get so scared that Megan's ponytail sticks straight up in the air. It's like, what is happening?
Alfalfa level shit.
That's one of the things about this movie that is so fascinating, is that it is equal parts like slapstick, like kid humor stuff, and then like porn actresses being naked. Like it is like equal parts of those things. And it's just like, what is
I guess it's a better option than like Camp Blood 8.
Yeah, that's true. It is, and it's actually I think an entertaining movie, generally speaking. It's actually pretty watchable as all things go. So they see Dick's dead body, and then they see Roxanne dead, and they get confused by that. That's right, because they see Roxanne dead in like the thing. And they're like, "Oh my God, Roxanne's dead!" And they run upstairs, and one of their friends goes, "Let's go into the kitchen and get a big knife."
The beast in the book. Will you stop with the freaking beast? This is reality. Now let's get to the kitchen and get a big knife.
It's like, this is almost a deconstruction of horror films.
Yep.
Almost. Just not quite clever enough.
Then what? Then we get our asses over to Mr. Hinchlow's, use his telephone, and call the cops.
There goes our paychecks.
Hey, Bert's dead, so who is gonna pay us anyway? You're right.
Well, at least we don't have to clean up the place. Come on.
They get the book, and then Hinchlow shows up and walks into the living room
and
with
he starts
them.
explaining. He basically starts plot dumping
in
for them.
hilarious detail. They give him the book, and he's like, they're like, "Do you know what this is?" And he's like, "Well, just a guess. But I'd say it's an ancient Cantarian warlock spell book brought by Gideon the Fourth in 1870, whatever."
It's a wild guess, but I'd say that this is an ancient Cantarian warlock's demon spell book from late 17th century England.
And then he turns into Roxanne, and you're like, oh, it's all like the cartoon demon or whatever.
You might say I've
Gotten something out of it. Roxanne! You're alive. Where's Hinchley? He was just there.
So then I think they run down to the basement. I can't remember what happens, but they go down to the basement again, and because there's also a ceremonial dagger that they found in that chest.
Yes.
That's an important element. There was a ceremonial dagger, and at one point, one of the other girls, either Terry or Jan, has it. And they need to run downstairs because they're running away from Hinchlow or Roxanne or whatever. And when they get downstairs, they're like, "Oh, okay, we got to use the knife to kill him." And Terry's like, "Shit, I left the knife upstairs." God damn it.
I think the book said that the beast could be destroyed by plunging that old dagger into its heart.
Great. I left it upstairs.
And then Roxanne, though, is able to, as they're running away, Roxanne shows up again in the basement. And as they're running away, she grabs Jan, who was the best actress in the movie. And I was very upset when she got killed because I was like, no, you're so funny in this movie. I need more of you. But grabs her and throws her on the ground. And then because this movie is what it is,
yes,
in order to bite her and kill her, she has to rip her top off
Of
first.
course. Brian, how else was this going to happen?
You can't bite her neck if you don't expose her breasts first.
Yes.
Obviously, duh.
You gotta have room to breathe.
Yeah.
God.
And then there's just like 3 minutes of her like struggling, holding her while ripping her top off for no reason before she, I mean, we know the reason, but the reason is because you need a couple minutes for whoever's watching this to finish. But oh God.
You think this is the movie that Paul Rubin got?
Could be. Was that the timeline, Adam?
I think it was 92.
Yeah, could have been. Could have been. They get back upstairs. Terry and Megan get upstairs, and Terry turns into my favorite character in the movie
For like 5 minutes.
For like 5 minutes before she dies. But she's like, we gotta fucking kill this thing.
Well, I'm too scared. My brain won't work. Shit.
Maybe this'll do the trick.
And she's like, we don't have the knife. She's like, I don't know. We got a fire poker. And Megan's like, no, we gotta, or she's like, maybe we just run away.
No. See, it's a devil, right? Because it's from hell.
Yeah.
And a fire poker is made out of iron. So the best it could be is cold iron, which only works on demons. But the dagger, I'm sure, is blessed with like silver, which works on devils. Because damage reduction.
Yeah, she's trying though, Kyle. She got the best thing she could. She got the best thing.
It's a bunch of D&D dump there.
Yeah, but Megan wants to run away, but Terry, she is a woman on a mission.
Well, fuck the dagger. This is all we've got. Come on.
She's like, look, it's not going to leave us alone just because we ran away. It's an ancient evil spirit.
She hit that point in like a video game where you go from like just survival to just
fuck this. I'm killing this. Yes, yeah.
But we can make a run for it. We don't have to fight it. Look, kid, if we don't get it right now, it might be loose forever. And then what? I mean, we've got some kind of supernatural monster running around. It's not gonna just leave us alone because we ran away from it, but no buts.
It's incredible. She like switches on and she's like, fuck this.
And don't act like that hasn't happened to you in a game before where you a switch flipped in your brain and you just went on a killing spree.
Yes. She's like, well, maybe we, and then Megan's like, well, maybe we can go get help from Hinchlow. And she's like, well, how do we know Hinchlow would even be Hinchlow? She like figures out the whole thing. She's like, we can't fucking trust anybody. We got to do it ourselves. She's like, come on, we're gonna go kick some monster butt.
Now we've got to do this while we have a chance. Okay, this thing has killed our friends. Now we've got to do something.
We can go to Hinchlow's and call the cops. Let them handle it.
How do we really know that Hinchlow is Hinchlow? Now come on, let's kick some monster butt.
And she like drags
For
her
the
up
record, in Half-Life where that happened was during the level surface tension. Whenever you stop running from the military and the aliens and you start fighting back.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my god. So it's great. She for like 40 seconds she becomes like the fucking Ripley from the end of Alien. It's like, let's fucking go, and then she immediately gets killed.
Oh man.
Roxanne grabs her and rips her blouse down, exposing her boobs before
Only
biting
one,
her.
though.
Only one. She's tasteful. And then I think that was in her contract. She's like, you get one. No, she showed them both earlier. So, but and then as that's happening, Megan just eats shit and falls down the entire flight of stairs and like breaks her leg or something.
She like gets the book and she's like hiding, or she's like cowering on the couch or whatever.
Yeah.
And this is where David Carradine magically
shows back up.
Machinas himself.
Yes, but Roxanne comes down the stairs. And look, Roxanne, I was disappointed that the cartoon possesses somebody and isn't really in the movie. That being said, Roxanne's pretty fun as the villain. She like really like milks it and eats it up and like does a pretty good job being like this weird like villain. Like I think I thought it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed her.
You're free. What more do you want?
Can't you guess? No. I want all the others set free too. All the pictures in the book. They want to live again too, just like me.
But she's like coming down to attempt to kill Megan, but like you said, David Carradine shows up just in time. And he's here to destroy. This was very confusing. He kind of explains this because I was like, okay, so he's here now to save the day, but he's the one who gave them the book in the first place.
Do you think it's because it like needs a host?
That's what he says. Eventually, he says something along the lines of,
I waited in limbo, hoping to find someone who could transform the book into a living thing so I could destroy it. Now you've done that for me.
So I guess the idea is that he gave them the book so that it would inhabit one of them, and then that person could be killed, I guess. I don't know, because he shows up and gets the dagger and is able to stab her in the chest with the dagger and kill her, and then she turns into the dog monster thing again, and the VO for the voiceover for the dog monster, where it's just like, oh man, ow, ow.
Ow! Man, that really hurts. We're gonna get back in that book.
You just hear it, it's like, oh, this hurts, ow, oh.
Bruh.
Really, it's so good.
Oh man, why'd you have to do that? You little bitch. I'll get you in the sequel for this.
But then he explains that, yes, he waited so that they could transform it, and now he can rest or whatever, because he brought the book over from Europe. And
yeah, he's been around. Well, he is now relieved of the curse. But I don't know if that just kills him.
I think he was already dead.
Okay.
Because he hung himself, remember?
Yeah.
But he was like stuck around as a ghost because he was like, because of the curse
You
or
imagine
whatever.
if it didn't, and you just have a guy from like the 1800s just like be alive now. And he's like,
yeah. And then fun surprise twist at the end. She's like, oh no, all my friends are dead though. And he's like, no, they're not. None of this actually happened. And then she falls asleep on the couch, wakes up the next day, and just everybody's alive.
fine, except the fact that she still has a gash in her head.
Yeah, she still has an injury, but like everybody who died is alive again.
Hey, Meg, what are you doing up so early?
Oh God, it's you. It's really you.
Well, of course it's me.
And they're like, okay. And then the incredible Hinchlow shows up carrying a little TV and
a thermos
of coffee, and is like, hey, I brought you guys some hot coffee, and it's Saturday morning. You know what that means? Don't tell me you kids don't enjoy a good cartoon. Ah!
Hell, it's Saturday morning. Don't tell me you kids don't enjoy a good cartoon.
Ending. It's Kyle, I think this movie is
it's
bad.
good bad.
I think
but
it's
that
good
ending
bad.
was fucking terrible.
The ending was stupid as shit, but I think it's good bad. It's disappointing that
it had a lot more potential.
It had a lot more potential, but it still manages to be pretty good. It
captured the tone.
100%. The tone was really good. It kind of does a good, like, fun, wacky B-movie, schlocky comedy. It's self-referential and making fun of horror movies a little bit. And it has a lot of good moments, and it's a lot of fun. It just... What you want the movie to be is they do the book thing, and a bunch of weird different cartoon characters come out and like do wacky shit, like and kill people in wacky cartoon way, you know, like smashing people with hammers or whatever you want, or like blowing people up with.
You connect one of the cartoons to like a faucet, and he just like
exactly
keeps growing and explodes.
Exactly. You want that to be what happens in the movie, but obviously that's way too hard and expensive to do for the movie, so they don't do it. That being said, it's still okay. They managed to do a pretty good job. It's a serviceable movie, and especially if you like boobs, it's pretty good. So that's going to do it for this episode. As always, you can do us a giant favor by heading over to patreon.com/thisfilm. Patreon, sorry.
This film is lit. This film is lit, Brian.
Wrong one. Patreon.com/GBorBB. Support us there. Get access to bonus content. We're putting out 2 bonus episodes this month about hot stealing cars in the 80s in the UK, and
a very low budget Matrix ripoff.
Very low budget Matrix ripoff where they Jeff Bezos in the best way possible. Sorry, Jeff Beezerberg or whatever the fuck his name is. Oh, that shit I will get to it. That moment I laughed harder than I've laughed in a long time. We'll get to it. That's going to do it. I have a podcast called This Is Lit. We're talking about movies that are based on books. When this episode's out, our most recent episode will have been my birthday episode, I believe, which we're doing Shawshank Redemption. Ooh, finally.
Nice.
It's been on the list forever. We've just never gotten to it. So
that's a dangerous thing, you know.
Indeed it is. Links, merch, all that stuff. Until next time, keep watching movies.
Especially Evil Toons.
Evil Toons. Pretty good.